Today's case has me all over the place. I have notes, I have all these things, but for some reason, I cannot remember anything at all. I don't know what is going on today. But I am going to tell this story and nothing is going to stop me. Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are all having a wonderful day because I am about to ruin it. On the 1st of January 2020, a tragic event happened in Aronsvlei in the Karas region. The people that are involved in today's case are Manfried Links as well as Michelle Rolf. Manfried Links and Michelle were in a romantic relationship. Manfried was only 31 years old and Michelle was 32 years old. Manfried has 3 children. Michelle has 5 children. The husband of Michelle is the same child that she shares with Manfried. I hope that makes sense. Michelle and Manfried are in a relationship. The relationship between him and Michelle was relatively well. It was all nice, except for when Michelle drinks. The moment Michelle touches alcohol, that is when all hell breaks loose. She becomes aggressive. She wants to fight him. She's just aggressive when she's intoxicated, but when she's sober, she is the sweetest person ever. Now, this is according to Manfried. They have been drinking the whole day. On the 1st of January, that morning, the couple started with a fight. There was a fight that broke out since morning time. They were just fighting the whole day. What I am assuming that the fight started because Michelle got intoxicated and she started to get aggressive like how she usually does. Because Manfried said that Michelle wanted his wallet. The wallet fell on the floor. Michelle ran to go grab the wallet, but Manfried got to the wallet first. While he was putting the wallet back into his pockets, this is when he saw Michelle charging at him with a bread knife. Manfried fortunately managed to get the bread knife from Michelle. He took the bread knife and he threw the bread knife into the neighbor's yard. After he threw the bread knife into the neighbor's yard, this is when he turned back again and he saw Michelle charging back at him, but this time around she had a fork. She was holding a fork in her hands and she was charging at him. He manages to disarm her. How he disarmed her, and you know a belt has like 2 sides. There's the buckle side and then there's the other side. He took the buckle side of the belt and this is the part that he hit Michelle with, and Michelle let go of the fork. As the fork fell to the floor, this is when Manfried ran to the fork. He took the fork and he threw the fork on top of the roof. But Michelle was not done. Michelle had the intentions of inflicting pain on Manfried in whichever way possible. This whole time as they were fighting, Manfried was busy packing his bags because he has had enough and he was leaving. He wanted to go to Karasberg to go visit the parents and he wanted to take the child with him. But the reason why they were fighting is because Manfried has had enough of Michelle and her shenanigans. He has had enough of Michelle and her aggressiveness and he wanted Michelle out of his house. He told Michelle that I want you out of my house. But Michelle was not leaving Manfried's house. This is why the fight broke out between the two of them. Or at least it's one of the main reasons besides all the other problems that they were having into the relationship. He was done packing the bags. He took the bags outside. He came back to come get the child. While he was coming inside to come get the child, this is when Michelle met Manfried at the door. She had a pair of scissors and she stabbed Manfried with a pair of scissors. And he was bleeding, there was blood all over, and he decided that he is going to leave the house. However, he turned one more time, he looked back at Michelle and he told Michelle that by the time I come back from the clinic, I don't want to find you in my house. And with that, he left the house. Before he went to the clinic, he decided to go to his friend's place, Valdemir. He told his friend that Michelle is out of control. She just stabbed him with a pair of scissors. And his friend was like, don't go home now. let's just go to the clinic to get the wound checked, and after we get the wound checked, then we can just decide from there as to what is it that we are going to do. This is when Manfried from here decided to go to the clinic. He went to the clinic. Susan was the nurse on duty, Susan Morkel. He could not find Susan because Susan was probably on a break or she was not at work. From the clinic, he decided that he's gonna go to the service station. Once he got to the service station, he met the petrol attendant Kennedy Brangenberg as well as Donovan Jar. Kennedy was not there. He was not feeling well, so he was like in another room sleeping. But who he found there, however, was Donovan. Donovan was the one who was on duty, and Donovan is the one who helped Manfried at the petrol station. Now let me tell you the conversation between Donovan and Manfried at the petrol station. Manfried got to the petrol station, the service station. It was called Handel Hayes. My brain is on fire. Handel Hayes petrol station. He went to Handel Hayes petrol station, and this is where he found Donovan Jar on duty. He met Donovan, and Donovan asked him, why are you having a bandage on your arm? Because at this point he was having a bandage on his arm from the scissor cut that he got from Michelle. Donovan asked him, why are you having a bandage on your arm? And this is when he told Donovan that Michelle had stabbed him. They had a fight in the morning and it became a physical altercation, and she stabbed him with a pair of scissors. After Manfried told Donovan this, he went to a nearby dustbin. He got himself a 2-liter bottle of Coke, an empty one. He cleaned it out, and then he handed it over to Donovan and told Donovan that, I want you to put petrol in this container. So Donovan was now like, what are you going to do with the petrol? He said that he is going to burn his girlfriend's clothes, and if it comes down to it, he is going to burn her too. Donovan obviously told Manfried that this is a bad idea. He shouldn't do this. If anything, if he wants to cause any type of harm, maybe he can just burn her clothes, but let him not burn her too. This is what Donovan said. Donovan discouraged Manfried from going ahead with this whole crime that he wanted to do. But obviously Manfried had already decided on what it is that he wanted to do. He bought the petrol and he left. But Manfried from the service station, now he was walking towards his friend's place. As he was walking towards his friend's place, he met another person on the way. He met Ostock on the way. He gave the petrol that he was having to Ostock. He told Ostock that, I'm gonna give you this petrol. You're gonna take this petrol back to my place and put it in the outside toilet. Let Michelle not see it. Put it in the outside toilet and let Michelle not see it. This is what he told Ostock. And from here, him and Ostock, they parted ways, and he decided that from here he's gonna go back to the clinic. Because remember, he went to the clinic earlier, but he did not receive any medical attention because Suzanne, who was the nurse on duty, was not at the clinic. From here, he decided that now he's going to go back to the clinic, see whether he will be able to get help or not. He got to the clinic, he got a bandage and all those medical things that people get when they receive a cut with a pair of scissors. He got the help. He also explained to Suzanne as to what happened between him and Michelle earlier. He was so forthcoming with the information. He was not hiding any information at all. He explained to him what had happened. He explained to her how Michelle cut him with a pair of scissors and all that. He went to go see his friend, and they decided to go to the bar, and they decided to have a few drinks. As they were drinking at the bar, Manfried sent Valdemir's brother to his place, to Manfried's place now, because Manfried, remember, did not want to go to his place. So Manfried sent Valdemir's brother to go to his place to go get the child as well as his bags. He went to Manfried's place where he found Michelle, Valdemir's brother now. He went to go get Manfried's bag as well as the baby, and they brought the things. He brought the things to the bar where Manfried was sitting and drinking. Nighttime fell. Manfried decided to take the child back to Michelle's place, back home where Michelle was, and he decided to take his bags to Valdemir's place. When he took the baby back to Michelle at their place, he told Michelle one more time that if I come back, I do not want to see you here with your things. Just pack up your things and go. This is what Manfried told Michelle. But of course, Michelle was not having none of this. She was not moving, child. She was like, I'm not going anywhere. You're my man and I'm gonna stick beside you. Okay, maybe that's not what she said, but I'm assuming that's what she said. Manfried took the baby back to the mother. The baby was only 14 months old, guys. He took the baby back to the mother and he went back to his friend's place. At his friend's place, him and his friends continued to drink until 10 o'clock in the evening. Around 10 o'clock, he decided that he has had enough to drink and he wants to go home. At his friend's place, he went into another room. He took his bag, and as he was taking his bag, this is when Manfried noticed that, you know what? The petrol is still there. You know the petrol that he bought earlier at the service station? That one. The petrol was still there. Since the petrol is still here, he might as well just take the petrol along. And that is what he did. He took the petrol along and he went home. This is around 10 o'clock in the evening. When he got home, he went into the main house and he started to collect Michelle's clothes. He started to collect her clothes, her belongings. He collected all of them and then he took them outside in the front of the outside toilet. As he was collecting the things, he could not find Michelle anywhere. Michelle was not in the house because Michelle was outside in the outside toilet. As he was done collecting the clothes, he went into the outside toilet and this is where he met Michelle. Michelle was sitting on the toilet with the baby in her arms. They started to have the fight. The fight started from scratch again because at this point now Manfried was drunk and he was angry because Michelle had stabbed him with the scissors. So he was pissed at Michelle and as well as drunk at the same time. An altercation broke out between the two of them again, and this time Manfried took the petrol that he was having and he drenched her clothes in it. Remember, now her clothes were in a heap of pile in front of the toilet outside. He took the petrol and then he poured it on the clothes, on Michelle's clothes. Now he's also going to pour petrol on top of Michelle. Now, according to him, as Michelle was passing by, this is when he accidentally poured petrol on her, the side of her body as she was passing by out of the toilet. He was pouring petrol all over the place. As they were busy fighting, neighbors started coming out of the house. Marilise Einman came out and she saw the fight breaking out between the two. Michelle ran to Marilise, and as she was running towards Marilise, Michelle was shouting, call the police, this man is trying to kill me. Marilise was like, okay, I don't have a phone with me right now, but let me call Penny. Penny was the other neighbor. Let me call Penny to see whether she has a phone so that we can call the police. We're looking for the phone to call the police. This is when the incident happened. As they were both running, he was having the lighter in his hands. He was running after Michelle and Michelle was running towards the neighbor Marilise, right? And he had the lighter in his hands and the lighter was on. The lighter, it had light on. It was Anjeka Kato. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It was on and he was running after her. Michelle stopped running and then Manfried bumped into Michelle. As he bumped into Michelle, this is when Michelle caught fire, because remember, Michelle was drenched in petrol. She caught fire and she was, in a blink of a second, in a blink of an eye, she was engulfed in flames. She dropped the child she was carrying and she ran straight to the neighbor. She ran straight at Marilise because she was crying, she was screaming, she was in so much pain. From here, Manfried ran to go call his friend Vladimir to go explain to him what had happened. His friend was not at his place, his friend was at the bar. So he went straight to the bar to go get his friend. As he was explaining to his friend what he had done, this is Manfried now explaining to his friend what he did. As he was explaining to his friend what he had done, they spotted a police car parked outside. Warrant Officer Arnold, they went to the warrant officer, they told him everything, and the warrant officer, went to the hospital. They got the ambulance and then they went to go get Michelle. By that time, Michelle was in excruciating pain. She was still alive, but she was in so much pain. They took Michelle straight to the clinic. Manfried and the baby also went to the clinic with Michelle. The three of them went to the clinic. Michelle went to the clinic. They saw that her wounds were very extensive because she was 80% of her body was covered in burn wounds. From the clinic saw the wounds and they were like, we cannot treat this. This is too much for us to handle. They decided to transport Michelle to the Keetmanshoop hospital. The next day, on the 2nd of January 2020, this is when Manfried was arrested by the police. He did not try to resist arrest. He gave himself over to the police. He basically just admitted to everything, really, because there was nothing for him to deny. Witnesses were all over the place. It's not like he could have just said it wasn't him. Everybody saw him doing it. Manfried was arrested. Once Michelle got to Kettmannshoop Hospital, she only survived for 12 days, and on the 12th of January 2020, unfortunately, Michelle succumbed to her injuries and she passed on. Let me explain the charges of Manfried to you to understand. One charge is for the murder of Michelle. The attempted murder that they are talking about, the second account, was the fact that when he was running after Michelle after she caught fire, the neighbor Marilis saw him trip Michelle. Like to, how do you say trip? Yeah. He saw him trip Michelle. She fell to the ground and she saw Manfried getting on top of Michelle, trying to strangle Michelle. This is according to her. But that one was disputed by the court because according to the court, the lawyers and everything, Manfried was only trying to help Michelle. He was trying to roll her on the ground so that he can distinguish the fire. So basically, he was not trying to hurt her. He was just trying to help. So this is what the police said. So one account of murder for the murder of Michelle, the attempted murder of the child, because remember Michelle was still having the child as she caught fire. So that was attempted murder on the child. So for the murder of Michelle, Manfried got 28 years in prison, and for the attempted murder of his child, he got 6 years in prison, which these years, the 6 years that he got, are going to run concurrently with the 28 years that he got. So basically, the 6 years is included in the 28 years. So in total, Manfried got 28 years for the murder of Michelle Rolfe. I want to give tribute to the victim of today's case. Michelle Rolfe was only 32 when she was murdered in the most excruciating way possible. She had 5 children and she had so much to live for. May her soul continue to rest in peace. And with that, guys, like as you can see, I'm losing light. It's getting darker. I would like to say thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Do not forget to comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.